Bim, guess what? It's just gone. Well, actually, start again, shall we? Although we can't because it's live. Bim, guess what? It's news at 10. Past 8 on a Thursday-ish. It's actually 13 minutes past, but don't worry about that. We are live, and we're going to be discussing the news of the week. Wait a minute, does that mean I'm live? That means I'm live on YouTube. Who knew? Well, everyone who's watching this, and no one who isn't. Well, actually, no, there might be some people who aren't, who are aware of this. Anyway, doesn't really matter. The main news is that we've got some news, and we've got quite a bit of news to get through, including something that, I'll be honest with you, shouldn't be news, but it's news anyway. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and join in the chat. Chat room is open. If you're listening to this on a podcast or you're watching this at a later date, feel free to comment in the comment section. You can still like, share, and subscribe. Hi T, hope you're well. Where are we going? There we are. So yeah, we are about to go on this incredible journey, which, let's be honest, most of it is inobvious, particularly with the news to begin with. So the main news of the week, weirdly, mainly because I got bored of it being Trump, to be honest, we still mention him a lot, and the Ukraine war and what's going on in Gaza as well. We will cover that as well during the course of the thing. Then we'll have some later on we'll have some more entertaining stuff going on, which is cool. Anyway, we will start with the I don't know if you're ready for this, folks, but guess what? Men are men and women are women. Who knew? The Supreme Court made a landmark ruling, and now it takes it takes them to decide for the rest of mankind what is a man and what is a woman. Now, there were protesters outside. Trans rights are human rights, and yeah, well, you can't argue with that. They are. And if you want to be trans, that's absolutely fine. What we don't want is it ramming down our throats. So, they've now said that if you were born with male genitalia, regardless, you are a man. If you want to pretend to be a woman, that's fine. If you want to dress up like a woman, that's fine, but you will not be allowed into areas where women change, or women have safe areas, which to me seems perfectly logical. Remember, we ripped into the SNP about a year ago when there was a convicted rapist who decided that they were suddenly trans, and the government put them in a female prison. Now, they weren't in direct contact with the female prisoners, but what the hell is a rapist, a man who rapes people, who then decides he's a she, doing in a female prison? It's absolute baloney. Anyway, it now seems that common sense has finally seen the light, and things are how they should be. If you want to dress up like a woman, you want to like a woman, you want to be referred to by a woman's name, that's fine with me. I get a lot of customers who come into the shop who are trans, or who are cross-dressing and all that kind of thing. It's not an issue, it's not a problem, it's your life, do what you want with it. But I would be very, very concerned if my daughter or granddaughter was in a changing room or in an area that's meant to be safe for women only, and there's a bloke in there wearing a dress, just watching. It's just not right. I mean, we moan about the people who are hanging around school gates who may not be from this country, and that's wrong, but what is the difference between that and pervy men? Now, if you think you're a woman in a man's body, then that's your opinion. I personally think it's a mental health thing and shouldn't be pandered to particularly. But if it makes you feel more comfortable to dress as a woman, fine, get away with it. But do not, under any circumstances, expect us to refer to you as you wish, because, well, just can't do. I know, I'm a grumpy old man, I get that, but I'm also right. And trans rights, yes, they have rights, but not at the detriment of the actual female population. I mean, you know, all this sport, boxing at the Olympics was absolutely ridiculous. All these people, it's just wrong on so many different levels. But anyway, hopefully this is the beginning of the end of wokeness. I'm not saying we should go back to the 70s. We should not go back to the 70s. I was around in the 70s. The 70s were not a pleasant place for women, but we've gone way too far the other way. And of course, all we need to do now is get rid of Keir Starmer, and life will be wonderful for everyone. forever and ever and ever. Probably. Anyway, that was the week's main news. Oh no, actually, whoa. Let's have a rewind. British Transport Police say that trans women will be searched by male officers from now on, following the end of wokeness, as I've written. And the NHS, this is today's breaking news, the NHS is looking into same-sex wards, because apparently if I was taken to hospital and I said identify as a woman and called me Mavis, then I could be put into a woman's ward, which makes no sense. Also the fact that apparently the NHS have been asked to ask men if they're pregnant before an X-ray, which just seems ridiculous. So let's just get rid of all this nonsense, shall we? If you've got a uterus, you're a woman. If you've got a penis, you're a man. End of discussion. And if you choose to remove your penis by surgery, you're still a man. Who's removed the penis? Well, that should get people upset. I'll be honest, if you're getting upset by that, you don't want to be on this channel. So let's move on, shall we, to the other news of the week. For there has been quite a bit. So much so that I need to have a quick drink of the old Guinness. Don't forget to like, share and comment. If you agree with me, disagree with me, it's absolutely fine. That's the whole point. This is my opinion and you may not agree with it. And if you do agree with it, then that's fine. If you don't agree with it, that's also fine. So, don't get upset if you don't agree with me. Well, I'm watching this guy, listening to this guy, and he's talking stuff that I don't agree with. Well, that's called discussion. It's called a debate. It's called seeing things from a different angle. And I see the previous comments that I've just made more from a woman's angle than I do from the trans people's angle, because we've got more women than we have got trans. So we've always had trans people. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? April the 11th was Friday. Keir Starmer calls an emergency recall of Parliament for the following day to save British steel by nationalisation. Really? High street raids across the UK against barber shops and vape shops over fears they may be money laundering by organised criminal gangs. Really? No, Sherlock. I mean, how many barber shops are there now on every high street, everywhere you go? I mean, in Pemberton alone, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's tiny. Tiny. In Wigan, lost count. As for vape shops, I don't know how many of them make money now, because they're not supposed to sell to kids. They're getting rid of the once-use vapes, which is a brilliant idea. I think should just ban vaping anyway, unless it's cigarette flavoured and it's to stop people smoking. Other than that, ban them. And you never see people in these shops. It's very rarely you see more than 2 or 3 people in a barber shop. So how are they basically making hundreds of thousands of pounds a year? It's all very, very, very strange. Of course, if we shut them all down, that means we'll have even more empty shops on the high street. But yeah. China raises tariffs on the USA to 125%. Go China. And suggests the EU sides with China. I.e. do some deals, because basically China's now got all this stuff that they were going to send to America, but now they can't send it to America, so they think, who else will buy it? Who else is stupid enough to buy from us? As I've said before, China were very, very clever back in the day, around about Thatcher's time onwards. Prior to that, they were the enemy. They were like Russia. Everyone hated China. China was horrible. It was a poor country. It treated its people terribly. What it did basically was it went down the route of not being like that anymore, unless you're Uyghur, in which case it doesn't matter apparently in China, and the rest of the world doesn't care either. But what they said was, you make computer chips, don't you? Well, we can make them in our country better and for a lot less money, and we'll ship them over to you for free. So that's what they did. What are you doing, Si? And they took basically all the industry. They then took steel industry. They then owned British Steel. And then, funnily enough, hang on a minute, we've got to have to shut it down now. That means you have to buy the China steel from China instead of having to make it in your own country. Yeah, we walked into it, and I've been saying for years that that's absolute nonsense. Anyway, America reacted, and sledgehammer to crack a nut, and anyway, China have reacted. Teachers vote 94% against a 2.8% pay rise. Of course, who knew that when Keir Starmer and his cronies instantly give, when they take power, massive pay rises to the teachers and the rail workers and all that, that the teachers and rail workers won't expect the same again the following year. Who knew? God. Oh, I mean, that must have come as a hell of a shock to Rachel from Accounts and Keir Starmer. Sorry. He's a tool, you know. Oi! There's nothing in the wardrobe for you. Saturday the 12th. Emergency bill is passed in the Parliament on a Saturday. It's a one day, and it becomes law to make raw materials available to British Steel. So basically, the day-to-day running of British Steel in Sunderland has been taken over by the government. Now, the government couldn't bloody, I don't know, they couldn't bend a spoon like Uri Geller, let alone run a steel company. But anyway, they've taken control of it. But I think China still own it, and now they're on about selling it to another Chinese company. I mean, don't learn, thick as pig shit. But they've passed this law and bill and everything, and it's gone in, and it's been royal assent and everything, in a day. And not any day, a Saturday. Well, hang on a minute. That's an emergency, isn't it? We must keep the steel industry. I 100% agree with that. As small as it is, we need to be able to make steel, because otherwise, if that shuts, we are reliant on the rest of the world for steel, and we become a pariah. We've got no steel to build anything, including all these houses that Labour keep going on about. But if you think about it, we can pass a law in a day, and it become law, something that's needed for an emergency. But we've got an emergency on the border, haven't we, with the Channel crossing? So can't we do like Trump and have a day where we just say, right, we're going to stop this, and we're going to put an emergency, because it's an emergency for the country, record numbers of people coming over. I know it's not the biggest problem we've got with illegal immigrants or migration, or whatever you want to call it. That's actually people who come through legally and then overstay the welcome. But we need to start nipping things into the bud with people we don't know who they are. At least the people who come over here initially, legally, we know who they are, and they've actually been vetted to get through. These people who are coming over on the boats, we don't have idea who they are. Some of them will be nice, some will be rapists, some will be paedophiles, some will be drug people, some of them are probably specialist soldiers, terrorists, who knows? We don't know. And we let them into hotels and let them walk around the streets, as I said before, standing outside schools, being inappropriate. So, yeah, we need to pass an emergency law. The government approved we can do it, about our borders, and basically close the border. Get the military involved, send all the boats back to France, and then just clear out the country of these people who we don't know who they are. If you're too scared of giving me your documents when you come to this country, or that give the government the documents when you come to this country, because if they know who you are, they won't let you in, then why are we letting you in the first place? You should just be gone straight away. No messing around. If I was fleeing to France on a dinghy because people were picking on old people with big noses, I would have my documents literally cling film to my body, so I wouldn't lose them. And even if anything tragic happened and I washed up on a beach somewhere, my identity would still be on me, so they'd know at least who I was. And then when I got to France, I say, look, I've got a big nose. You're French. You all have big noses, so that's fine. I feel part of France already. Can I claim asylum, please? Rather than just chucking everything over and saying I'm a 14-year-old boy. Can I go to school, please? And all that. It's just weird. Anyway, also on Saturday, Trump scraps tariffs on mobile devices and on technical items, because everyone in America screamed at them because Apple no longer can get their chips or have their stuff made without it being stupidly expensive. Oh dear, Trump's made a boo-boo, who'd have thought. Sunday the 13th, Jonathan Reynolds MP wouldn't confirm if the supplies will arrive to keep the blast furnaces open in time. It might not be sabotage, but it was nearly that, he said, about China owning it. And he's right. China, I mean, it's your prerogative. You own steel companies in China, and it's cheaper to make steel in China than it is in the UK, and you own the steel companies in the UK, then you shut the steel companies in the UK and employ more people in China using blast furnaces. So the whole thing about becoming green and shutting ours down so we're green is irrelevant. Look at India, Tata Steel. The people who owned British Steel before China, they shut down blast furnaces in the UK and opened them up and just moved all the jobs, or rather sacked everyone in the UK and then give people in India the jobs in brand new blast furnaces. Right. So it's the same environmental damage, just in a different country. They're getting the benefits, we're losing out. It's genius. Absolute genius. A man was killed in a house explosion in a workshop. And Tulip Siddiq MP, she was the one who was in charge of finding about corruption and things like that, has strongly denied any wrongdoing after Bangladesh issued a warrant for her arrest over corruption. You couldn't write it, could you? You don't need to, because it's happening in the real world. It's shocking. Monday, the 14th, 15 charged with betting offences over the timing of the 2024 elections, including one now former Tory MP and various other people who worked and was closely involved with the Prime Minister at the time, which was of course Rishi Rich. Refuse workers reject pay offer in Birmingham, and the army may be drafted in to clear away the rubbish. Trump deports migrants into the El Salvador mega jail. Now this is again quite genius, as long as it's the right people going there. The mega jails in El Salvador are basically, you strip down to your underwear, have your head shaved, and you are just like that on the floor all day, and then you go to your cell and that's pretty much your life. And it's trying to stop people. Now, migrants, not so sure about, but people who are terrorists, people who are bad people, I think we should have them in the UK, definitely. Other than the death sentence, but more of that in a bit. At least 35 dead in Sumy in Ukraine after military strike by Putin. And Zelensky, too wise now, says that Trump should visit Ukraine to see what it's really like. But that's never going to happen, is it? Because he's buddies with Putin, and Putin's not really buddies with anyone. I think Trump thinks he's buddies with Putin, but I think Putin's playing Trump because, let's be honest, Putin's probably more intelligent than Trump. That's a very low bar, though. Government says confident in keeping blast furnaces going with the raw materials. They are being shipped in from, was it America or Canada or somewhere? Not getting any chat today. Is anyone actually chatting today, or am I just missing it? No, I'm not getting any chat. Normally there's people chatting, even though just saying hello, but not getting any chat today, so let's go into edit. I'll get rid of that. Save. So I've got rid of the chat, and I'm going to put the chat back again. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. There we go. Right, so in theory the chat might be working now. We've had a few technical issues, to be fair, in the past. But yeah, Trump should visit, not going to happen. Blue Origin penis rocket. Just looks like a penis. It takes an all-female team, not a crew, they're basically just sat there, into space for 3 minutes. Super rich, or complete waste of money. Katy Perry says she'll write a song about it. Look me. Would have been good if she'd have recreated the song, Baby I'm a Firework. But sadly they made it back down to earth safely. Tuesday the 15th, JD Vance says a good chance of a trade deal with the UK, but no other stuff going on, just a good chance. There's a good chance between trade deal. Birmingham agency and non-union staff say collecting and clearing waste are starting to begin. Meanwhile, United States protests in Birmingham will continue, and that's because the wages and the workers there who are doing the waste are being capped £6,000 a year from the wages, which is £500 a month. So I can kind of see why they're on strike now. I didn't know what it was exactly. Something to do with matching pay between different people and jobs, and rather than increasing the wage of the other people to match the refuse collectors, they've knocked £6 off the refuse collector's wage. Seems fair. Mind you, the council is bankrupt, so yeah. Raw materials are delivered to the Scunthorpe Steelworks. Yippity-doo. That's good news, folks. And 4 journalists are sentenced to 5 years in jail in Russia for working for the late leader Alexander, who was the guy who died from an accident or unexpected circumstances whilst in a Siberian prison. He owned the party, or ran the party that was against Putin, was going to stand against him in the last election. These people were said to be working for him. Meanwhile, the Toby Carvery admit chopping down a 400 to 500 year old tree because it was dangerous. Wednesday the 16th, landmark ruling by Supreme Court as it takes. Oh, we've done that. US Marines. US markets tumble again due to Trump's tariffs. UK inflation falls in February. Now, February was before March, which was before April, which is before now, which is before prices went up. So this is still a legacy of the Tory government and nothing to do with the Labour government. So we will see when we get the April figures and the May figures where we are. So we'll ignore that for now. As I've written here, let's wait till April figures. Terrorist who attacked prison officers. It was the brother of the terrorist who blew up those people at the Andrea Grande concert in Manchester at the MEN Arena. He basically at Frankland's assaulted police officers, prison officers, including with very hot oil causing extensive burns and a self-made stabbing weapon. And people are asking the question, how is a convicted terrorist allowed to get into a situation where they can hide stuff like that and they can get into a situation with very hot oil to throw on prison officers? Basically, if you're a dangerous felon, then you don't have any human rights. You should be in a cell on your own or sent to one of these mega prisons, or better still, killed. Why are we paying to keep these people alive? There's a few people, I don't agree with the death sentence, carte blanche, but I think there should be exceptions. And in recent times, this guy is one of them. The father of young Sarah, who fled to Pakistan after killing his daughter and leaving her alone in a house, and then rang the police when he was in Pakistan. He should be dead. And the guy who stabbed the 3 girls and killed 3 girls and stabbed many others in Southport should be dead. Why are we keeping them alive? Exceptional circumstances. I'm not saying all murderers should be killed, all rapists, all paedophiles, nothing like that, because that's when mistakes get made. But on occasion like this, 100%, these people should not be living. We should not be paying for them to be kept warm and fed in prison. End of. And certainly not allow them to get to the situation where they can attack prison officers. Thursday, that be today, that. Zelensky says Ukraine has evidence that China is supporting Russia with weapons and missiles, which if true, ratchets up things a lot, because they are the aggressor. Of course, Russia would say, well, hang on a minute, Ukraine are getting weapons, etc. from Europe and America. But that's defence, and there are restrictions, and they're not to be used against civilian targets. Whereas obviously Russia just bombs anywhere, including schools, hospitals, infrastructure such as power stations, water treatment plants, apartments, shopping centres, markets, whatever they want, with impunity. So yeah, I think that is right. Naples cable car has crashed to the ground, at least 4 dead, maybe more. That's almost a breaking news. And the Italian leader is visiting Trump in the White House. Trump says the US will make a very good deal with China very soon. Does that mean they've got China panicking? Because if they have, well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? But don't hold your breath, because it's bad for you, particularly if you do it for a very long time. That's good advice though, so you get free advice. Is this actually working? Are people actually watching this? I don't even know what. I have no idea what's going on at the minute. I'm going to do something here. Because we normally have a bit of chat, even if it's just people saying hello to each other. But again, nothing today. So is it broke? Is it broke? It's actually working. If you've watched this and you've liked it, can you unlike it and then like it again, please? Or alternatively, just like it. I can't see who likes it. It just gives me an idea if there's any reaction people are actually watching. There's always a delay as well, so I'll have a drink. I've got 2 likes. Alright, okay. It's just chat room might not be working. Okay. Thank you. So it's working. Right, okay, so I had a bit of a break then because we're getting very little reaction. We normally get people just saying hello or to each other in the chat room. We've not had any of that tonight, so I was just wondering if YouTube was broke again. It does have a tendency to being broke on a few occasions. Didum. Right, there we go.
You'll need photo ID to vote on the 1st of May.
That's a lot of bullshit.
Don't have ID? Apply for free voter ID now. Find out more at electoralcommission.org.uk/voter ID.
Liars. You're a bunch of liars.
What's going on? What are you doing?
You're the boss of Temu. You're...
Vote on the 1st of May.
That's a lot of bullshit.
Don't have ID? Apply for free voter ID now. Find out more at
Alright, okay, it's just you're not very chatty today. That's alright then. It's just... I got very confused. Anyway, let's go on to the fun stuff, shall we? This is the news that makes me laugh, snigger, or go, oh really? Oh my god. And memes. You might have guessed the memes bit due to the fact that we've already got a meme. Remember last week we spoke about Universal Studios opening up in Bedford in 2031. A new massive complex entertainment park. And there's a picture there of Universal Illegals Channel theme park. And Keir Starmer leading the way there with all our friends. Meanwhile, China have been taking the mickey out of Donald Trump and co. So there's an American factory, and there's a picture there of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and J.D. Vance all assembling Nike shoes. And the comment there is these guys need to pick up the pace. Obviously, it's a meme; it's not real. We've had this before. Caution, bear in area, and there he is, the bear in the area. Basically, we've had this with seagulls recently. We had a seagull that was flying past the Brighton Hove Albion football ground where they have a seagull, and someone said they got the picture perfect and they hadn't. But then there was a picture of a seagull stood on a sign that was exactly the same silhouette of the seagull was stood in on the sign, which was brilliant. And the bear's doing exactly the same thing pretty much. I mean, it's left, its right rear foot could have done with being a little bit further forward, but other than that, pretty good effort, I think. The old company I used to work for, Game, they got bought out by Sports Direct, and all moved into Sports Direct. It's now the Fraser Group, isn't it? Not Sports Direct. And basically, it's not worked very well for them, so they're selling everything. And this is the distribution centre that I never went to, but I did work for Game for a while. And they had clearance on behalf of Game Warehouse due to closure. Including kitchen equipment, office furniture, and loads more. Pizza ovens, deli counter, vending machines, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just sad that games ended up like this. I mean, it should have, to be fair, it should have been put out of its misery years ago, but there you go. 4 persons max or 100 kilograms, or 1 horse, 5,050 bananas, or 6,006, yes, what? 666 hen eggs, doesn't make sense, that one. 2,941 pigeons, assuming they're not all flying around, 88 haddock, or 10 nickels. And the bananas are for scale. So yeah, that's a lift where they have a thing, and just to make it more obvious to people that not to overload the lift. So if you've got a massive shop of bananas from your local supermarket, don't go in that lift, or at least split them into 2. If you're having a bad day, just remember someone bought this watermelon, and there's a watermelon there where it basically looks like an apple, and the actual red melony bit is the core in the middle. Very distasteful. Do you ever get confused at road signs? How's about this one? There's a sign there saying diversion, turn left, but just before it is a sign saying no left turn allowed. Where do you go? What do you do? Just sit there for hours. A hobosexual is a person who dates you with the sole interest of having a place to stay. Ever heard of people entering a relationship to have shelter and other short-term goals? Sex. Many people are in relationships for convenience, for financial or sexual purposes, and in some cases for the sake of children. Hobosexual relationships are a fairly new trend, and not many people are open about being in such relationships. That's what they're saying. I personally think it's been around for a long while. Meanwhile, my wife told me to take the spider out instead of killing him. Went out, had a few drinks, nice guy. He's a web designer. Sorry, it made me laugh. Elon Musk just announced that Tesla cars will soon be able to connect to each other via Bluetooth, allowing drivers to communicate and speak with other Tesla drivers nearby. Road rage is going to be like a COD lobby. If you know what a COD lobby is, Call of Duty, where basically have loads of kids swearing at you, and that's basically what that's going to be. It's going to be make road rage intense. Only in Teslas, not intense, or swastikars as we like to call them. Doctor, your body has run out of magnesium. Me. OMG. Oh, 0 mg, magnesium, periodic table. Intellectual, but very clever. Did like it. Fast food giant faces axing in Australia. The parent company of Taco Bell, Australia, has announced plans to either close or sell off its national network of stores. If a buyer isn't found within a year, Collins Food, who also operates hundreds of KFC locations across the country, said it may consider other exit options for its Taco Bell stores down under. So Taco Bell is not doing particularly well. We got one opened in Wigan. I went on opening day, never been back since. I've done it. Don't need to do it again. I used to think sticks and stones could break my bones, but words could never hurt me until I fell into a printing press. And that's comedian Milton Jones. Yeah, sorry. And I did this and never realised why. Loud sounds can hijack our attention and interfere with the brain's visual processing, which is why you turn the music down when looking for an address or a parking spot. I'll be honest, I thought I was the only person who did that. But when I drive into a town or a city I'm not familiar with, and I'm looking for somewhere to park, I always turn the radio off. And I just thought that was me. I didn't realise it was a common thing, so much so that it's actually become a thing on the internet. We've all seen these soldiers with the big bear hats on, but you know why? It's because they're the most intelligent soldiers in the army. As you can see from this picture, they have to shave the I didn't call it burqa then. It's not a burqa, is it? Jeez. Sorry, burqa. What? I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, yeah, the brain is that big. It actually fills the whole thing up, and that's why they have to wear the big tall furry hats. Keep the brain warm as well. It doesn't work as well without. In the 1930s, air travel featured wicker chairs, open windows, and no seatbelts. Well, yeah, because pretty much none of them were invented. And planes flying at much lower speeds and altitudes. Well, that's obvious if there's no windows, and also slower because there weren't jet engines. But yeah, I mean, a rough landing, literally people would be falling out the open gaps where the windows were. I'd go by train, I'll be honest, back then. After the hits dried up, the Welsh songstress moved up north to pursue a new career. There's a band there where it says Bonnie Tyler, Tiler, wall and floor tiling. Genius, absolutely genius. I don't know whether the tiling is Bonnie or not, but you never know. Oh, child, nice, eh? Yeah, smoking a pipe. In 1920, we took our children out of coal mines. In 2020, the most popular video game on the market is Minecraft. The children yearn for the mines. But there's a toddler there with a pipe in his gob and what looks like a hat with a candle on it, all dressed up ready for work because we used to chuck them down there and chuck them up the chimneys as well because they could fit to get all the soot out. It was perfectly healthy for him. You never heard him complain. Well, not now anyway. Those two astronauts who were stuck for 8 months watching Katy Perry kiss the ground after being in space for 10 minutes. There's a picture there of some guy who's probably famous, I don't know. Looking very like... but yeah, Katy Perry, what an absolute... Katy Perry says she will write a song about her mission after becoming the first ever woman to travel in space. I rode a cosmic dildo rocket into space and I liked it. Something like that, she constellated. Obviously, it's a meme, but it's made me laugh. I rode a cosmic dildo into space and I liked it. Miss him a lot on telly, Sean Locke. I used to go out with a girl who was obsessed with counting. She made me count out loud during sex. 1, 2, 3. She never got past 4. I'm impressed she got to 3, to be fair. Another meme, Keir Starmer in a new film called Lie Hard. You can guess what movie that's a Mick Turkey off. This is out of Viz. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It's a sliced shed. Separates into manageable 3-inch slices for storing away in winter or when it rains. Shadow Slice Limited. Comes in 3 sizes. 6 foot by 8 foot, 12 slices, 8 by 10, 18 slices, and 10 by 12, 24 slices. And yeah, it's best thing since sliced bread. It's a sliced shed. Oh God, I miss Viz. A UFO spotted emerging from the Pacific as experts insist this is not a glitch. A UFO expert, Jeremy Corbell, has claimed that footage which appears to show objects emerging from beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean is clear evidence of extraterrestrials. Yeah, at this day and age, the camera can easily lie. I've not even seen the footage, but yeah, it's just BS in it. Cinema chaos as kids bring actual chickens into Minecraft movie screenings. The latest box office hit, the Minecraft movie, has sparked a bizarre social media trend, which one team took to another level by bringing live chickens into the cinema. Do you remember, was it Despicable Me? Where the kids were wearing suits, you know, like pre-teen and teen boys were going in all in suits to watch the movie. Was it Despicable Me or something? It was something anyway. They all had suits with ties on and everything, all very smart. And the cinema owners got really upset about it and banned them from doing it, which seems a bit ridiculous. I mean, you know, kids making an effort to get dressed up and, you know, no, come in your ruddy with your face masks on, all dressed in black. That's what we want. No, bit of class and decorum. But live chickens, nah, that's probably a step too far. Meanwhile, the man with the $12,000 dog suit may have to cancel Human Zoo after no one booked to go there. A man known as Toko from Tokyo, who dresses up as a collie and runs a zoo where customers can experience what it's like to have being a dog for a day, fears him have to close because he's not making any money. Well, who knew? I mean, there are plenty of furries around, but maybe they don't want to do it in public. Russian TV mock Trump's tariffs as they applaud him on damage done to the US. TV host Vladimir Solovyov took turns on his recent evening show at pillaring the US president over his backtracking of tariffs and his love of washing his hair in the shower. What's wrong with washing? I wash my hair in the shower. Why wouldn't you wash your hair in the shower? I mean, let's be honest. At least you've still got hair. Okay. Yeah, he probably washes it in the sink, doesn't he? Takes it off and washes it in the sink. But still, looks like he's got real hair. Nah, he doesn't. No, he's as bald as a coot. Probably. Psycho AI shares plan to take over world and humans will hand it the reins, it says. An artificial intelligence model has claimed it would not achieve world domination through violence, but said in time I'd become indispensable and noted humans will hand me the reins. A bit like we did with China with all our industries. Exactly the same thing. And then we become reliant on China. We have to let China do whatever it wants because otherwise it can just close down the rest of the world. So maybe AI can do the same thing. I actually got AI to write my column in the paper for next week. It was an interesting read when I read it back. Gremlins and Dazed and Confused star Nicky Katt dies aged 54. Hollywood actor Nicky Katt has tragically died at the age of 54 as fans of film industry figures paid respect to the Dazed and Confused and School of Rock star. Was he the kid who had the gremlin and the main child in the, I mean teenager, he wasn't a kid, but you know what I mean. But 54, no age, definitely not. Lad's roller coaster pick ruined as pigeon headbutts him at 60 mile an hour and ricochets. Logan James was riding the Velocity roller coaster at Flamingo Land in North Yorkshire when the bird emerged from nowhere and slammed into his head at a rate of knots. We all know where that pigeon come from, don't we? Dum 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 from the from the band cover. The hip hop Pigeons took up headbutting people on fairground rides now. Hilarious. The kid was alright, by the way. Pigeon, maybe not. Major greetings card retailer looks to shut shops ahead of 2 store closures. Despite the major gift card retailer overturning a profit earlier this week, several Clinton shops may be set to close after the company posted a warning about labour tax hikes. So this is the beginning of companies shedding jobs and shedding shops, particularly ones that are not making that much money. Soviet soldiers turned to stone by aliens in bonkers Cold War UFO clash. Newly declassified intelligence files explaining in a Cold War incident involving unexplained phenomena with humanoids and UFOs that allegedly turned Cold War soldiers into stone. Or maybe, because it was a Cold War, they just froze to death. Other nonsense. Jesus Christ's body in the hidden chamber under Egypt's Great Pyramid, says expert. Bombshell research claims the body of Jesus Christ can be found in a hidden double cave sealed off by a whopping stone block beneath the Great Pyramid in Giza in Egypt. Bullshit. Next. Oh, Switch 2. Why's that sliding around? Nintendo Switch 2 backward compatibility boosts with 2 new games updated. One of the Switch 2's big benefits to backwards compatibility with Nintendo Switch 1 games, and there's a fresh update on 2 popular titles joining the lineup. Surely it should be all the titles on the Switch 1, and then, bring out games for the Switch 2. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? But anyway, it's Nintendo, nothing makes sense. Elon Musk X to remove direct messages as new X chat could soon, could be close to launch. Elon Musk's X, Twitter, continues to make big changes to features, this time with the planned removal of direct messages, DMs. Is all we know about the latest Twitter changes. Basically, it's been run by a complete moron. I can say that because it's true. Talking of which, Gary Lineker thinks we're controlled by aliens, but that will win the World Cup. The former Spurs and England tosser admitted he thinks that human life could be part of a Matrix-style computer program operated by aliens in a kind of video game. So basically, we're the characters from The Sims. Ancient Egypt scroll may prove Moses existed and part of the Red Sea, says expert. An expert who specialises in the area of ancient manuscripts has claimed an ancient Egyptian manuscript provides evidence which supports the Bible story of Exodus, in which Moses parts the Red Sea. Now, hang on a minute. Now, Now, if any of this was true, it's 2,000 plus years old ago. And none of it's true anyway. But the Bible wasn't written for hundreds of years after the events. But in order to get the stories, they'd have to look at things, which might be ancient scrolls. So maybe they found the ancient scrolls of stories and myths from nearer the time that were found by the people who wrote the Bible. And then, I mean, I'm just calling bullshit on all this anyway. So no, absolute not. Don't get me wrong, if you believe in a religion, that's fine, but I just think it's a way of controlling people from cradle to grave, every religion. If you don't do whatever the religion says you're going to do, when you die you're going to be in hell or equivalent for eternity. But if you do what they say, you'll go to a greater place and live a life of Riley. A death of Riley for eternity. It's just controlling, that's all it is. And it's an excuse to kill people. Lots of people. I think more people have died from religious conflict than any other conflict ever, including when the British went round the world killing native populations if they wouldn't convert to Christianity. So we're as guilty as the rest in the past. Anyway, Trump is using human stem cells to give computers nervous systems, says an expert. Danny Sheehan has made many bold claims regarding aliens and extraterrestrial tech in recent years, and his latest one involves artificial intelligence and human stem cells. I mean, seriously. Meanwhile, UK struck by 6 more earthquakes, with 4 of them hitting in a matter of hours. Seismic activity across the United Kingdom has ramped up in recent months, and 6 more have struck over a few days, with the M6 motorway becoming the epicentre of one. Or maybe it was just a very heavy goods vehicle with them flashing lights blocking 2 lanes, going somewhere, dropping off, I don't know, coke for a steelworks somewhere. Meanwhile, Mickey Rourke is considering lawsuit against ITV after Celebrity Big Brother acts and hotel bills. Hollywood actor Mickey Rourke is reported to be weighing up, see, most famous film, The Wrestler, legal action against ITV after his move from the Celebrity Big Brother house last weekend, or at the weekend. Never watched Celebrity Big Brother ever, but I know he got kicked out because he's basically a nasty piece of work. So, who cares? Sue him, you're not going to win. Giant rats, bin strike could hit the whole of UK with 2 cities named next. Peterborough and Sheffield are amongst places most likely to be hit by next piles of uncollected rubbish, and possible rat invasions could cause significant health issues in the cities. I remember the Winter of Discontent, when litter was piled up everywhere. Any green spaces in cities were literally just tips with bin bags everywhere. It was just horrible. And we seem to go in the same way. Well done, Leb, you're doing really well. A helicopter crashes down to ground minutes after takeoff, and 1 person in hospital. The helicopter with 2 people on board crashed at Moorabbin Airport in Melbourne shortly after 2:30 p.m. As firefighters rushed to the scene to treat the injured. Amazingly, no deaths, unlike the tragedy that occurred in New York when the family of 5 and the pilot died from a helicopter crash there into the Hudson River. The felled £1 million oak in London was older and more valuable than the Sycamore Gap. An ancient oak tree that was cut down in Enfield, North London, has been estimated to be worth $1 million and may be older and more valuable than the Sycamore Gap tree that was cut down in 2023. 2023? 2 years ago that was cut down. My God, time is going so fast. But yeah, it's not wrong. No excuse, really. But here we go. Psycho seagulls and rats team up to spread diseases in cities, trash mountains. The massive piles of trash strewn across Birmingham streets are set to keep growing as the rats and seagulls feasting off the waste are also growing and spreading disease. Yeah, but they have to get past the hip hop pigeons. Meanwhile, in Asda open 24 hours, 7 days a week, but it's closed between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Friday to Sunday. What? Yeah, mixed messages. And finally, thanks T. Welcome to the UK. Twin with the whole of the see, I say whole of the in third world, which is, you can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that. We are definitely going down that route. Which brings us to the breaking news. Bum 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 bum. So what's been breaking while I've been chatting? I'll tell you what's been breaking. Freddie Flintoff, Top Gear crash scene for the first time in new Disney documentary trailer. I've not seen it. Patients on common blood pressure drug urged to check pack amid labelling error. Oh, Jesus, that's not good. Scientists capture first video of colossal squid. Okay. Sainsbury's to slash prices as supermarket war with Tesco escalates. I think prices, because I shop at Sainsbury's and Tesco, often on the same evening, and I think particularly their gluten-free stuff is very similarly priced. UK risks energy crisis as British Gas halts activity at fuel storage sites because they've been told to go green by the government. I walk 10,000 steps with a weighted backpack every day for a week. These 5 reasons I'm not stopping. Well, that seems to be a good idea, to be fair. UK weather, urgent red flood warning issued as intense thunderstorms to strike Britain. A bit wet. Met Office warnings. Ex-Reform MP Rupert Law to sue Nigel Farage for defamation. Okay. At least 4 dead, 1 injured in cable car accident in Southern Italy. We've already mentioned that. British Transport Police amends strip searching policy after Supreme Court gender ruling. Excellent. Toby Carvery owner could have to pay over £1 million for hacking back an ancient Hulk. Yeah, I agree with that. Rupert Law says he's instructed solicitors to begin the claims. A suspect is in custody, multiple victims reported after a shooting at a university in America. Trump signalled support for EU-US trade deal amid mixed messages on Ukraine in Meloni White House visit. China is supplying weapons to Russia, says Zelensky, with only one Y. The Independent, I've not added the extra Y yet. Teaching union will make Labour pay high political price without improved pay. Yeah, basically they've just, as the Tories said, you pay them that, they'll expect it every year, and guess what, they expect it every year now. NatWest to shut 19 branches in days. Why American flags are backwards on USA race cards. Well, it's because it's one side and one the other side, maybe, I don't know. Or is it where the driver sits, that's where the flag is? You know, the pole would be behind the seat. I don't really care, to be honest. Are you eligible for nationwide £750 cashback? Yeah, there's a lot of people getting £50 off nationwide, and I think Halifax as well, which is quite interesting. Kids are starting school in nappies, but it's too easy to blame the parents. No, it's not. Toto Wolff makes a call on axing Mercedes driver as Max Verstappen sent £1 billion offer. Germany is to deport a single male asylum seekers. All single male asylum seekers. Excellent. What's this? Stephen Colbert. People from overseas are frightened to come here. Well, yeah, we're not allowed to go to America anymore now. Morrison's to shut 16 stores with immediate effect. Co-op to shut 19 stores in 2025 at least. Toblerone makes disappointing announcement as it acts as iconic chocolate in UK. Oh no. Farage is likely to be the next Prime Minister, says SNP leader. Well, yeah, I'm not sure that's a good thing, but we'll go with it. JD Sports to close 50 high street stores in huge business shake-up, but apparently It's a misleading headline because none of them are in the UK. Lithuania fears the worst for Easter. Toby Carvery owner apologises after ancient oak felling in North London. Bit late, isn't it? So yeah, there you go. Get rid of that. So that's the news that's been breaking. Very, very quiet today. I don't know quite what's going on. Maybe starting off with what I started off with has upset people, but it's the truth. So anyway, big shout out to T. Thank you, and everyone who liked. More people listen to this as a podcast and watch it later than watch it live. So if you're still with me at the end of that, appreciate it. Give us a like. Just give me an idea if you're still at the end, and I'll be seeing you until next time. What is it? Oh yeah. Where's my hair doing that? Bye. No worries, T.